everyone, YouTubers, everyone, how y'all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live for my live review of Monday Night Raw from the June 1st, 2020 edition of Raw. Can't believe we're already into our 6th month of 2020 with the wild year it's been for sure. But once again, for the how many times in a row we're saying this Raw took place at the Performance Center. The second week, of course, with the, as I call it, stage crowd. Because, let's face it, they're staged. How many times do you literally see people go like, yo, boo, or yeah? Again, it's all freaking staged and the reactions are not organic, but at least there's some noise. And it feels a little bit better that way. But tonight's Raw, I'll be real, I was actually really digging the first half of this episode of Raw. I thought it was a pretty solid episode of Raw. And then the second half came and it tanked. Mainly to me because of Nia Jax. Nia Jax literally, again, hurting Kairi Sane and also mocking Asuka's entrance that looked so horrible. And of course, we're continuing on with this awful feud with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. They went bowling. We'll talk about that, of course, as we get into the show. But the stuff with, Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, and Aleister Black, I really dug. I was enjoying the stuff with Apollo Crews as United States Champion. A couple other things I could say I did enjoy, but there was some stuff I definitely did not enjoy, let's put it that way. And of course, the best thing I did not enjoy on the show is, once again, how many times they were hyping the fact that this is the greatest show! Again, I could just see Vince sitting in the back, just jamming to that cheesy song that honestly sounds more like a WrestleMania theme song. I may use that for my WrestleMania card predictions next year, maybe. But once again, hype up the fact that, this could be the greatest wrestling match of all time. And they said that exact phrase at least 10-15 times. I'm going to keep track of that next week, actually. How many times they're going to say, this could very well be the greatest wrestling match of all time. No, you're saying it's going to be the greatest wrestling match of all time because it's hyped up in all your graphics, you idiots. But, yeah, so we got that happening there. But, what's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining me in the live chat. But let's get into the show and talk about it. I also gotta say thank you, by the way, to all my viewers, because my SmackDown review over the weekend actually got about 800 views. I usually get that many views on my live reviews, so I definitely thank you for all those. Let's talk about this episode of Raw, though. The show opens up with Seth Rollins and his disciples, Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. Austin Theory folding his hands like this looks super awkward. Buddy Murphy, the way he has them, I'm fine. But Austin Theory, he's like all scrunched up, holding it together like this. Like, just why not have him and Murphy just, hold them the same way, I mean, I understand they're supposed to be acting like, followers and disciples, but again, he looks awkward going like. But this is supposed to be Seth Rollins hosting a retirement ceremony for Rey Mysterio. The guy who he claims, sacrificed himself a few weeks ago when he realized, that he was not doing what Rollins, has set out to do as a leader. But he's going to have a match with Aleister Black in a little bit. But Rey Mysterio will be on later to speak to all of us. It's going to be difficult for him, but he thinks he's not going to be able to bring himself to formally announce his retirement, so Rollins has taken it upon himself to handle that formality. How Rey is too humble to come out and call himself a legend. As a leader, Seth must come out here and appreciate him directly for sacrificing himself for the greater good of Monday Night Raw. He talks about how Rey is the greatest luchador to ever live, but beyond that, he's a kind and generous man. He's also prepared a video package to celebrate Rey's career, which basically shows everything up into Rollins' sacrifice of Rey Mysterio with the eye. And then Aleister Black came running down, attacked him, and we went to commercial, and we had the match. It took about half an hour. Aleister Black and Seth Rollins, not bad. I definitely thought the match could have been a little bit better. Probably because we had, so many freaking commercial breaks in it. But I would say it's not a bad match, and I definitely want to see these two have a match on pay-per-view. I mean, if not at SummerSlam, with SummerSlam, I'd say either do McIntyre and Black, have Black and Orton wrestle, or have Black and Rollins wrestle. I think they, again, give them about 15 minutes on pay-per-view. I think they could put on definitely a sleeper hit match for sure. But I thought it was a good match. During the match, of course, Theory and Murphy tried to get involved. Umberto Carrillo, I'm sorry, Umberto! I haven't done that in a while because I was mocking AJ's hair going like, Umberto! And he came out to try to, neutralize with a steel chair, but didn't really work out too well. But eventually caused a distraction, and Aleister Black got the victory over Seth Rollins with the roll-up. But after the match, Rollins orders his disciples to come in and start beating down on Aleister Black. Carrillo gets in though, and he tries to beat down, but then Seth gets involved, and then they have he has Murphy and Theory hold on to Aleister Black. As Carrillo is down, struggling at his feet, Rollins hits him with the curb stomp, and then Black is just calling him a coward and whatnot, but Rollins said this is what happens when you try to be a hero, and he hits another curb stomp on him as well. Of course, I found this weird, a little bit weird since we still had to hear from Rey Mysterio later on tonight, but of course, Rollins thinks he's taking the liberty and doing the right thing, but no, he was not. So we did hear from Rey Mysterio later on, which I'll get to that in just a second. That's how we started off. We get a replay of Apollo Crews' U.S. Championship victory last week. We have an interview with Angel Garza and Zelina Vega. Garza takes control and says that in love and war, everything is fair. In competition and seduction, you must always be one step ahead. Vega talks about Garza's win over Kevin Owens last week, and Garza says if someone's upset with his actions, they've never wanted something as badly as he does. And he gives Charlie Caruso a rose, but Zelina Vega grabs it and just breaks it in half and just throws the petals on her and whatnot. Poor Charlie. And of course we get another hype for the greatest match on earth, of the greatest wrestling match of all time, Edge and Orton. Last week it was Ric Flair giving his prediction, who he picked Randy Orton. This week it was the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. You just can't help yourself, Vince. You just can't help yourself and bring back these legends all the time to get the views. So Shawn Michaels basically just puts the match over and says that he's picking Edge. So of course, babyface picking the babyface, heel picking a heel. And also, I'm just saying, because I thought of this tonight, with how they're really staging this crowd and not letting the reactions be organic, I can tell they're probably going to have that crowd go absolutely nuts at Backlash and make it act like they are watching the greatest match of all time for sure. Don't be surprised it's going to happen, because if this match, I hate to say it, if Edge and Orton, this match was in front of a crowd, they'd be getting booed. And I hate to see it happen to either one of them, but unfortunately it is. Again, what's the whole deal behind, I've heard rumors it's because Vince is allowing the word wrestling again, so that's why, of course, he's got to beat it to death, like, oh, wrestling is now something I own, or whatnot. But also the other thing, too, again, as I keep saying, did we really have to have another match with Edge and Orton? We had the Last Man Standing match. That felt like it completed, the story. So why can't we have Edge wrestle somebody else? Edge and Rollins? Edge and Black? Edge and Styles? Just saying, we didn't have to do Edge and Orton again. So we have that. We have a recap then of what happened with Drew McIntyre, MVP, and Bobby Lashley last week. MVP and Lana are then backstage. Lana's freaking out again for no reason whatsoever, but MVP cuts her off and says he has to get ready for actual work in the form of his match against McIntyre. So he has no inclination to get sucked into whatever attention-seeking drama she has in her mind. She takes a dig at his career and slaps him also as well, just because she can. Once again, I don't get why Lana has her hissy fits. They make absolutely no sense, but once again, who knows? Because to me, she comes across as some woman who's desperate for pleasure for no reason. Because again, we never got any reasons of why she went for Lashley. Why did she really break up with Rusev? But who cares? Because I don't like Lana at this point. Of course, and then it was weird. We get a segment of the opening segment, but it was like an actual video package that of something that happened like an hour ago. When really, This segment really only probably had like a half an hour to edit through. Then again, these are still pre-taped stuff from what I can tell. So whatever. Um, we have Apollo Crews in the ring, talking about his first week as U.S. champion and all the feelings he's felt. And of course, he is allowed to pick a challenger tonight for the U.S. title, and he picks Kevin Owens. So Owens comes out, and at first he was selling his limp from last week. Um, um, so I thought first maybe he was going to deny the challenge because of his injury. So he comes down and congratulates Apollo. Says not one to turn down title shots, but after last week and his loss to Garza, he can't help but feel this is coming out of pity. Cruz says there's no pity, it's all about respect. And Owens says that Angel's gonna get what's coming to him soon enough, but he feels bad. Cruz says, no, you deserve it, man. Owens says he knows he deserves it. But what he feels bad for is that Apollo's first title reign is gonna be a real short one. So like, trading some shots back and forth. So we have the match going. There's a point in the match where Apollo Crews acts like he just got kicked. He's got a low blow, even though Owens hit him like square in the lower part of the gut. He wasn't hit with a low blow. But then basically he just baited Owens in, and then the fight kind of got a little more intense after that. And I like that. Again, it's continuing to kind of show signs of this slow Apollo Crews heel turn. That, of course, we were supposed to get probably a little bit sooner than we were, but they kind of put it on the back burner a little bit and extended it a little bit longer, which is fine. But I thought Apollo had a good showing here. Then, of course, the match ends at DQ because Andrade and Garza attacks. It was pointless for them to get involved in the match, but I still thought the tag match they had was pretty solid. And Apollo Crews gets the win again, pinning Andrade Cien Almas. So I'm like, okay, it put over Apollo, made him look pretty good. His promo skills are getting a little bit better. Still has to do work, but he's getting better. I do like, he seems a lot more comfortable and a lot more positive and solid in the ring. I mean, of course, he still has his ways to go since they kind of started this push for him. But so far, I like what I see. I kind of like what I see from Apollo since coming over to Raw, and I hope it continues. I'm glad it's working out for Apollo right now because I definitely thought that he should have been a champion. Ages ago, maybe win the IC title from The Miz at SummerSlam 2016 would have been nice, but what can you do? So Apollo Crews wins the tag match. Afterwards, then, we get an interview with Asuka. She's going to be having a match for the 50 millionth time against Charlotte later on tonight. And, of course, Charlotte has always beaten Asuka. But Asuka says she's going to take down the bully Nia Jax at Backlash. But she's also ready with Charlotte. And the Empress never bows down to anyone, as she said. And then we get... Here's where the show started to dip for me. We had the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders continuing their anything you can do, I can do better. This time they go bowling. And here's the thing. Not everyone is meant to be super good at bowling. There's a lot more to bowling than you really think. I was a bowler in high school. I learned a lot more things at the bowling than just standing at a line and throwing a ball down the lane to knock down pins. There's more strategy to it than you think. But you'd think a guy's as talented, as smart as the Street Profits will at least know how to bowl, and if the Viking Raiders do, well, of course, typical story. Street Profits act like they don't know how to bowl. Then all of a sudden they know how to bowl with Cosmic Bowling. They had some goat milk or whatever the heck it was, and then Ivar tried to go into the kitchen to steal turkey legs, and once again gets told that out, out, out. I'm sorry, whoever was that actress screaming out was terrible. I'm sorry, that acting was absolutely horrible. But of course, once again, I'll let you guys go this time because you're cute. And same thing. And of course, the Viking Raiders end up winning. But of course, the Street Profits are like, oh, we actually know how to bowl. But of course, same stuff over and over again. Just for Vince's humor. And I'm just like, just announce the match already. Quit putting us through these stupid segments of bowling, basketball, golf, axe throwing. So dumb. Just finish in the ring. Stupid. Just so stupid to begin with, and I don't like it. Um, we didn't have a match with Billy Kay and Nikki Cross. First off, before the match starts, we have some really random outbursts with the Iconics and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross backstage. That was so dumb. Then we have the match, and I'm thinking to myself, why are we continuing this feud? Why? Iconics blew their chance when Peyton Royce stupidly just started throwing Nikki into a post constantly. Wait, what? Why? That was creepy. Siri randomly just started talking to me. I don't know what it is, but so I don't get why this feud with them and the Iconics are continuing. Quite frankly, I'm more interested in seeing Alexa and Nikki take on Sasha and Bayley on Friday, and I'm actually kind of hoping Sasha and Bayley win the women's tag titles. It'd be a good way to make them look a little bit more of a powerful duo. Just saying. But the match happens and Billy Kay wins clean. So I'm pretty sure now we're probably not going to get new tag champs on Friday. But we're going to get another match between Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. Why? I don't know. Again, they were stupid and blew their first opportunity for no reason. Just made themselves look dumb. So I don't care. Billy Kay wins. Drew McIntyre's backstage being interviewed. He says everybody should know by now that he doesn't back down from challenges. And in 9 weeks of being champ, he's beaten 7 superstars. If MVP wants to be lucky number 8, that's fine with him. Rey Mysterio then has a medical update. He has his mask on, but his one eye is covered with some type of material. His eye is recovering, doesn't have a timetable of his return. If an infection were to set in, that could be the end of his career. It could be a few weeks before he's cleared to compete, or it could never happen. But he's been thinking about the question of retirement for a long time now. He takes issues with Seth's description of him as a sacrifice. And this brings in Dominic, who literally was getting all fired up and pissed off at Seth. Dominic says how Rollins is no messiah. He's barely a human being and someone from his family needs to take care of him. Ray tries to get his son to chill, but Dominic's not having it. Ray thanks then everybody for reaching out for their concerns as far as an official statement goes. Seth Rollins, damn you, everything you've put his family through. He tells Seth he's a man of forgiveness, but he'll never forgive Seth. And then he leaves the room, but Dominic says Rollins is a man of scripture, so it's an eye for an eye. So, I don't know. A couple of months ago, I was actually interested. Well, I think probably around the time whenever, Ray feud with Brock and Dominic kind of, took it to Brock a little bit. I actually thought that was cool. I don't know. I'm not really interested in seeing Seth Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio right now, though. I'd much rather see just Seth and Ray. I think they could have a good pay-per-view match. I think that's what we're setting up for. But I have no interest in seeing Seth and Dominic right now, unfortunately. But we have that segment, so we don't know when Ray's going to be back. And of course, we have Nia Jax coming out going, oh my gosh, I got tag 2-1. Oh my gosh, Becky Lynch got pregnant, and oh my gosh, Asuka was gifted the championship. No, she was not gifted the championship. It was called that she secretly didn't know that the Money in the Bank ladder match was for the championship, the match you were also in. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's smoking mirrors. Oh my gosh, everybody's talking about me. Oh my gosh, fake as hell as she is. And then she's getting ready to fight Kairi Sane. But first we have R-Truth sneak into Rob Gronkowski's house to win a 24/7 championship back. Okay, who cares? We have a match with Nia Jax and Kairi Sane. Of course, how does it end? Not just with Nia winning, but Kairi also getting injured. Nia threw her recklessly face first into the steps. It looked very stupid. And, Nia's apparently got the buckle bomb banned. And now she throws Kairi recklessly into the steel steps and probably severely hurts Kairi Sane to show Nia is not a safe worker. Nia wins the leg drop, but that's unfortunately not the last time we saw her this show. Asuka rolls in to check on her friend, but Nia's like, oh my gosh, you're here, I can't fight you, whatnot, like a coward, and walks away. We have this segment with Randy Orton. He talks about he's been watching a lot of WWE Network documentaries lately, and the one that every superstar seems to have in common is that they think that Ric Flair is the greatest ever to do it, and he agrees. Rick called him the best ever last week. So there you have it. He admits he's got complacent and Edge can't stand it. He's accomplished more than anyone, all while he's phoning it in, pretty much. And it's true, Randy has phoned in several times, but he still accomplished a lot. Charlotte has an entrance, cuts a promo, basically burying whoever in the crowd booed her, and just going off about how cool she is and whatnot. Asuka comes out. They have the match. Their matches are always great with good chemistry and whatnot, but then of course I'm expecting Charlotte to win. Charlotte pretty much does win by count out, but it was so dumb the way it ended. Asuka's music started playing again, while Asuka had barely been outside the ring for a few minutes. And out came Nia Jax, literally wearing Asuka's mask and just wearing Asuka's makeup and mocking her. And it made Asuka look stupid because she literally just stood there and got counted out. And Asuka, Nia hit her like she was a freight train. Because she's probably going to severely injure Asuka next time she severely injured Kairi. So that happened there. And then Lana's interview backstage, complaining how Bobby asked her not to come to the ring during his matches, but he didn't say anything about MVP's matches. So she goes out to the ring. Drew McIntyre squashes MVP. And Lashley locks in the full Nelson, swinging basically the master lock on McIntyre to go off the air. So, what was the point of Lana coming out for that main event? I didn't see any point of it. But, yeah, this show really dipped the second half. The first half I actually quite enjoyed it. Second half though, not really. So I'll give this show a C+. C+ for this episode of Raw. Let's check the live chat before we go off the air here, because I gotta get a shower and get ready to go to bed. Let me see here. I missed the real crowd too. Tyler does not like the Monday Night Messiah gimmick. It's fine. We got Little Fettuccine 69. Will Dominic join Seth? Could be a swerve if he does. It's a rematch of WrestleMania 36. How will the whole Lana thing play out at Backlash? I don't want to know, because I wish they would just have Lana just go away, because once again, her outbursts make absolutely no sense to me, and she comes across as just a delusional idiot. And, you know, you can have people come across as delusional and be effective, but hers just makes her look plain stupid. I would like to see Apollo join MVP and Lashley. Same here. What's up, Elite Squad? Saying, man, show. I've seen Apollo push. Looks like Garza will beat him for the title. It could. Nia is cringe. There is TakeOver Sunday. Bayley's doing anything for SmackDown Women's Champion, so I guess the Iconics versus Bliss and Cross and Bayley versus Sasha and whatnot. Maybe, who knows. Tyler hates bully storylines. Nia's the worst. How many times is she injuring people and then complaining about Rousey? What a hypocrite. A stupid hypocrite. Oh, for sure. That's for sure. And of course, she goes on to Twitter and tries to use those injuries to get heat. Well, instead, it makes you look like a jackass and nobody likes you for it. Kind of like what you did with Becky Lynch. Remember that? Face breaker? Yeah, I don't like Nia Jax. Rollins in Black was good. Tyler's not giving the grade, but Elite Squad gave it a C+ or a C. Good grades, guys. Yeah, I gave it a C+. Enjoyed the first half. Second half, though, not so much. But I'm going to check out here, guys. Thank you for joining this live review of Raw. Guys, what were your thoughts on this week's episode of Raw? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video. Subscribe or comment to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBronny3. And with that, guys, I am checking out. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.